Hey guys, how y'all doing today? My name is Franchise Fanatic and welcome back to the channel. This for you guys is another Ninjago video. It finally happened. I finally watched Ninjago, I guess you can call it Season 15 Seabound. Now I do know that, I'm not super hip on this, but I do know that this is not a season that a lot of people have seen unless you're going online. If you want to watch it in the Cartoon Network or, actually see it, I do understand and I respect that. So there are going to be some spoilers, a lot of spoilers in this video. But yeah, so I finally watched it, and man, was it freaking good. I think Season 11, the Fire and Ice chapter, were good. 12, Prime Empire, was really good. 13, Master of the Mountain, was pretty much flawless. 14, The Island, was pretty good, I guess. And then 15 is up there with, I think, Master of the Mountain, Season 13. I mean, it's just fantastic. I don't even know what to say. It's fantastic. So again, spoilers if you haven't seen it. This is, of course, more of a Nia-centric season. We find out that the reason Maya and Ray name their daughter Nia is because, of course, Niad, I think. Niad, yeah, whatever. She's basically like the first Spinjitzu master of water, and she defeated Wajira, whatever. We'll just say Wajira. They defeat Wajira and the two little circle things on her neck, which of course tie into the island, which is really nice because when I watched Season 14, The Island, I was like, okay, it's good, but why are we going to come back to this? And we actually do, and it's really freaking cool that we get back to the roots of that season and the keepers, which is really nice. I did enjoy it though. I think the action is fantastic. There's a few one or two long take shots like Kingsman or Season 13 had, and that's awesome. The action is fantastic. But the thing that I really love about Seabound is not that it made me cry like a little biatch like Ninjago. Look, I don't cry at Endgame. I didn't cry at The Rise of Skywalker. I don't cry at really anything. The only movie I've ever cried at is the Lego Movie, and the only TV show I've ever cried at is Ninjago. I don't know why. I'm 22 years old. I shouldn't be crying, but the reason why it gets to me emotionally is because it's so well written, right? Look at Zane, and I'm going to have a separate video about this, but, look at Zane from Season 3 rebooted, and, of course, spoilers, look at Nia in Season 15 Seabound. The story in this season, it's spectacular. It's amazing. It's one of the best stories from Ninjago that we've ever seen. It's really, really well done. You get Benthamar, or Bentho, who's kind of like an adopted brother to the king. You also have this kind of element with the, I guess like the octopus dude, Calamar, which is funny because as soon as I heard Calamar, I was like, oh, Calamari! And Nia's like, hey, Calamari! And it was really funny that they kind of, tackled that trope, I guess. Calamar grew on me, though. I think he's not the most intimidating villain. He's not Garmadon. He's not the Overlord. But he is miles better than, say, Asphyra, or maybe even like the Unagami, even though he really wasn't technically evil. But when you get to the actual element of Calamar, he's really well developed. His voice actor's really great, and I got a lot of Davy Jones-esque vibes, the way he talks, kind of. He's British. The way his tentacles move, kind of like Squidward or Davy Jones. And then, of course, you also get this, this kind of Aquaman movie, the great DCEU film, Aquaman. Kind of dealing with the, adopted nature of, everything that's going on, which is really funny. That, Benthamar's like, hey, brother! And, Calamar's like, adoptive brother. So it's kind of funny that they go with that element. And it never got boring, it never got old, it never felt like it wasn't supposed to be there, or that they were straight up copying something else. Because they did their own thing, and they did their own twist, and it was really freaking well done. So you get these kind of, this adopted brother element, kind of like Thor and Loki even, if you want to think about that. It all comes to a head, of course, where Calamar literally freaking murders his dad in a kind of like a coup, I guess, to rule as king over Merlopia. And Ninjago is a kid-friendly show. I'd say 10, 11 up, maybe even 12. But it is not a kids show. There's a difference, right? It's an animated show. It's for older kids, it's for teenagers, it's for adults, it's for all ages. And what I love about what they did here is that you get the sense that the Merlopians are shooting at the ninja with these aqua guns or whatever, and you're like you get the sense that if one of the ninja gets hit by it, they're gonna get effing jacked up, and essentially Calamar shoots his dad in the chest with it, and you see it impact him, and he goes whoa, and that was cool because it didn't show anything off screen, And look, Ninjago, the original, like Season 1, 2, they had death and stuff, and looking at Harumi and they do have death. and I'm gonna make a separate video on this, but the fact that you see Kalmar shoot his dad, the fact that Benthemar's like, look, I'm not gonna leave you to die on your throne. I'm gonna take you to a hospital or some kind of a med bay, and he's carrying him, and the king's like, put me down, and he kind of holds his son, his adoptive son, Benthemar's like, look, I love you, son, and he just dies. He dies. He effing dies, and it was fantastic, and I'm glad that Lego went with the chance to actually have the king die, and I would have been fine if he was better and he came back, but the fact that Kalmar literally murdered his own father in cold blood in front of the ninja to become king and rule over Melopia and his adopted brother Benthamar, it shows that this guy is jacked up in the head, but it also shows that Ninjago as a franchise is getting a lot more, I don't want to say mature, but it is, I don't know if they would have done that in the older seasons, actually show him getting shot and dying. He literally closes his eyes and dies. It's phenomenal, and I'm not saying death is great and I love violence and death, but the fact that they're showing that really makes the audience, no matter your age, go, okay, Kalmar is a villain and he just did that, and the whole season 15 I finished it and he doesn't come back. He straight up dies. Which, it's a good character beat and a good character moment. Again, of course, we get to the kind of the elements with, the ninja kind of getting shot down in the sub. Maya is, of course, back, played by the old voice actor for old voice actress, I guess, for Lloyd. Lloyd was voiced by Jillian, I want to say Michaels, I could be wrong, Jillian something, in season 1 to 7. And then season 8, we have Sam Vincent, I think. He took over from 8 to 15 and presumably 16 and all that. And they both do a great job. And it's funny because, I've seen 1 through 7 so many times. I hear Maya, and there are certain beats and certain elements where I'm like, oh, that's Lloyd. You know what I mean? It's funny because you have the old Lloyd voice actress and the new Lloyd voice actor in the same room talking. It's kind of weird. But, she does a good job. I think Maya in season 7, Hands of Time, was kind of a little bit different because she was seeing Nia and Kai for the first time. But in this season, she really gets to kind of be the mom. And I was really worried when I was watching at the beginning, because I'm like, I don't want to sit there and be like, she's like, Nia, you need to do this pose, and I made you breakfast, Nia. It's just that kind of thing. And you're like, Jesus Christ. Is she going to be the annoying, nagging mom the whole effing season? And she wasn't, which was great. She really actually was there to kind of help Nia, and once Nia recognizes, hey, look, kind of like an Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade thing, they get kind of stuck and trapped together in the same room. They have to kind of work their way around each other, and by the end of the season, they're really close friends, which is nice. I enjoyed that about Nia's character. And then, of course, we get to the big, the big Wajira incident where they're kind of attacking Ninjago City. Wajira's a really great menacing snake dragon. Kalamar's a great villain. Benthlemar's a good side character. And then, of course, we get to the big finale where Jay inhales a shit ton of water and he's like, he's making all these weird noises. And, again, props to Lego, man. I didn't expect that, Jay gets trapped in his rider or whatever in the bottom of the sea, inhales water, the water gets into his lungs, which again brings up another question, which I'll make another video about, that Lego Ninjago is not necessarily a Lego show. I'll get to that in another video soon. But I do think that it was smart because it makes sense. When you're inhaling water, in most animated shows they'll go and they'll cough up the water, but in this, Jay's going like, he's like having a hard time breathing because of the water in his lungs. And it really did paint that element of kind of like Skybound, how Nia dies and, Jay is mourning over her. It's kind of a reversal twist on that. And it's really nice that, Nia, and god dang it, I cried again. I always cry in this show. It's that scene where, you build up to the fact that Niad kind of became one with the sea and merged with it, and she couldn't come back from that. It was like Zayn, it was like Jesus Christ. It was like the ultimate sacrifice. And, Jesus and Zayn came back, but apparently Niad did not. And, the scene in the penultimate episode where Nia looks and she just kind of, there's no audio, she just says, I love you. And, dude, look, not much makes me cry as a movie. Not much makes me cry in movies, but it hit me hard, Because I've been dealing with Nia since 2011, since I was like 12 or 13, and now I'm 22, and, it's fantastic what they do. The writing is, and the music, the directing, the shot composition, the framing, everything's perfect in this season. And she whispers, "I love you," and then she merges with the sea, and you know, she jacks up Wojira. Wojira eats calamar, and that whole end scene in the very last episode where, you know, like, "Oh, we'll fix you up," and Nia's like, "Do you hear that? The sea's calling." And of course, Jay has to say, "I love you," and you know, my heart, you know what I mean? It F's me up, you know, it really does. And then of course she jumps over the thing and she becomes one with the sea, and you know, they're all crying, and of course they can't just leave it at, "Oh, she left." You know, they gotta have a goddamn memorial. You know, Master Wu's gotta talk, and then they all gotta cry. Everyone shows up at the monastery. It's just, look, if it's one thing Ninjago's good at, and it's good at a lot of things, but the thing it's most good at is dealing with loss. And again, I'm going to make another video on this because this is a whole separate thing. But the ending of this season was almost, it was just like a hair short of what Zane did in Season 3. It's good character development, it's good acting, it's good, very good voice acting, in fact. Good music, good shot composition, good everything, man. Season 15 is one for the ages. And, you know, like 13, like I think 8 through 10, the very best of Ninjago in my eyes. I mean, it's up there. You know, Wild Brain, they got off to an okay start with Fire and Ice, and now then I watched Seabound. It's just, you know, it really is fantastic, and whatever we do in the future, apparently it's going to be more comedic. Hopefully they don't F up Ninjago, but I do think that if we continue the trend of this style of a lot of action, a lot of intensity, and a little bit of comedic relief, I do think that, you know, not comedic, you know, actual comedy, I do think that we could easily get into another golden age of Ninjago. I can't wait for the future. A little bit nervous, but I can't wait for it. So again, tell me what you think without spoiling, if you can do that, because I know some people haven't seen it yet. But this is a great season. As far as negatives, I really can't think of much. I think that the animation is great. The voice acting is great. I think, you know, maybe there's one or two lines that, you know, Lloyd says or Maya says that are a little, I would have said differently, but nothing too crazy here. Nothing to really warrant me dialing it down a peg in terms of review, in terms of like an actual final verdict thing. And look, I'm not just saying this is a great season because I love Ninjago, right? I like Ninjago, but I have, you know, The Day of the Departed, Season 7, Fire Chapter, not that great. You know, so I'm not saying everything Ninjago's perfect, you know, I'm not one of those people. I do have my quarrels with it, but I do think that Season 15 is up there with the best of Ninjago. So again, if you can leave a comment without spoiling what happens, tell me in the comments below what you thought. And yeah, again, I really enjoyed it. You know, I mean, I'm all caught up now. I have 1 through 15 on, you know, I saw it all. And, you know, now I can build the Lego sets without knowing, you know, not knowing what the fudge is happening. But yeah, so expect a Ninjago video. I got 2 more lined up. I got one about loss and, you know, the feeling of loss. And then I got one about the inner machinations of Ninjago and just the mechanics of the Lego people itself. So I got 2 more things on that. I'm still going to be doing Lego Harry Potter. Don't worry. But if you have any Ninjago questions, leave it in the comments of this video. What do you want me to talk about? Alright guys, so sorry about that jump cut. My camera died. What do you want me to do? So anyway, this is basically the end of the video anyway. Tell me in the comments what you thought about Season 15 without spoiling it. And again, if you want to see any kind of Ninjago questions related to anything with the franchise, Season 1 to 15, whatever you want. Even the Lego Ninjago movie, whatever, it doesn't matter. I love Ninjago. Make sure to subscribe if you want more Ninjago content. I'll be doing, again, a few more videos down the line, and I can't wait to cover more of this amazing franchise. Thank you guys, and we'll see you in the next video.